Hi everyone, I'm Clem. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing something I've been expecting since the beginning of the year because I will be sharing with you my TBR for the Asianreadathon. So if you don't know what the Asianreadathon is, it's a month-long readathon happening in May, and it was created by Read with Cindy. In May, it is the Asian Heritage Month in the United States, and so she decided to create this readathon to push readers to read books either written by Asian authors or books with Asian characters. So it's just a time where you're going to take time to really pick books by Asian authors or with Asian characters. And just for this to be easy, I will mention the books I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about them as Asian books, even though Asian books doesn't exist, but it's either written by an Asian author or with an Asian protagonist. So this year she came with different prompts, so you have to pick a book for each prompt and you can combine them, but there is something more in order to push us to be more open and to read more diverse book. For example, if for the first prompt I read a book by a Japanese author, I can't read any of the books written by a Japanese author. I have to pick another country in Asia. I think this is really interesting, and I managed to do my TBR with this rule, so now I'm going to share it with you. The first prompt is to read any book written by an Asian author, and for this I'm going to read Gumeo, also known as Wicked Fox by Cat Cho, and Cat Cho is Korean. So this is a YA fantasy book, and you're following Gu. And Gu has a secret because she's a Gumeo, and a Gumeo is a nine-tailed fox that feeds on the power and soul, on just the energy of man. That's all I know about this book, and I think the Gumeo are from the Korean folklore or maybe the Japanese folklore. I don't know, I think I heard both. I'm not sure, I should have done my research, but it's part of the folklore. And I'm really interested in that. That's the only thing I know about this book, and I don't want to know more because I want to go pretty blind into this book. Though I know that my two best friends read it and they loved it, so I trust them I would trust them with my life. So I know this is going to be good, and probably I will like it. I'm very excited. It sounds good and very different from what I usually read. The second prompt is to read any book with an Asian protagonist, and for this I'm going to read the manga Orange by Ichigo Tanako, and Ichigo Tanako is Japanese. So in this manga you're following Nao, and Nao is beginning 11th grade, but at the beginning of the year she receives a letter from a future self, and at first she thinks it's a joke, but then a lot of things that were written in the letter are starting to happen. And in the letter she is told that she will have to take care of this new person that's coming, or something else, or something bad will happen. I don't remember if if they're in dangers or anything, and that's pretty much all I know. This is actually the collection, it's a bind-up of different books. I'm really excited to read this. I've heard a lot of people talking about this and I just bought it, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to like it. And I wanted to read more manga this year, so this is going to help me. The third prompt is to read a book written by an Asian author, but in your favorite genre. And so I have two favorite genre, contemporaries or fantasy and high fantasy. And I decided to go with contemporary because I will be listening to my audiobook of the month for this one, and it's a faux love story by, I forgot her name, sorry, but she's Vietnamese. What I remember from the synopsis on Goodreads is that you're following two characters. I just forgot the name, I'm really sorry. But you have a boy and a girl, and each of them work at their parents' 4 restaurants, and each restaurant is in front of each other, so they are fighting to get clients and to be the best restaurant. And of course, at some point, the two, like the girl and the boy, are going to meet, and they will have to work together to save, I think, the restaurant. And actually, they're going to discover that there is a secret between their two families. That's pretty much all I know, but as soon as I saw this book, I wanted to read it because first it's talk about food, and I love food, and I love reading about food. And also, it has some Romeo and Juliet vibes, and I think I'm going to love it. So I'm really excited to read this. So far, all the audiobooks I've read this year were amazing, and I'm sure this one will be too. The fourth prompt is to read a non-fiction book written by an Asian author. And at first, when I saw this prompt in the video, I was like, no, I'm not going to be able to do it because I don't like reading non-fiction. I'm not interested. And then actually Cindy created this master list where you have tons of books, and so I was scrolling through it, and then I saw, like, for me, the holy grail, because I found a non-fiction book that I actually want to read and that I've been wanting to read for so long now. It is Persepolis by Marjane Satrapi. And so in this graphic novel, Marjane Satrapi is telling childhood because she grew up in Iran during a war. I think the biggest war Iran has ever known. And so it's basically about her childhood and how she dealt with all of this war, but also her parents, and she had to go away. So you're also following her during her youth. And then she comes back. It's really interesting. I've seen the movie so many times. It is one of my favorite movies, and I've always wanted to read the book, and now I have the perfect occasion to do it. So I'm going to buy it tomorrow, and I'm going to read it this month. And last but not least, you have to read a book written by an Asian author that is not US-centric. And for this, I'm finally going to be able to read These Violent Delights by Clem Gong, and Clem Gong is Chinese. So if you've been here for at least since February, I think, this book is on my TBR for like February, March, and I was also supposed to read it in April. And I wanted to read it in April, but then I thought about the Asianreadathon, and I told myself, I'm sure I can put this on my TBR for the Asianreadathon, so I waited. And now it is a good time to read it. If you don't know what These Violent Delights is about, it's basically a retelling of Romeo and Juliet set in Shanghai in the 1920s. I know that like there are two enemy families. What I know is that, of course, you have two families who hate each other, and you have Juliet and Juliet. I think Juliet is kind of a warrior, like when you read the synopsis, she looks like a badass. And you have Romeo, who actually in this one is called Roar. What's his name again? I can't remember. Roma, yeah, he's called Roma. His name is Dom, and they will have to work together because they are demons or shadows that are attacking the town, and so they will have to team up to defeat them and to find what's wrong in the city. This sounds amazing. I mean, I've been wanting to read this for like 3 months now, and now it's finally time to do it, so I'm pretty excited to read this one, and I hope I'm going to like it. And also, this is my second Romeo and Juliet retelling in this TBR, so I think we can say that I love Romeo and Juliet. So yeah, guys. So yeah, everyone, that's my TBR for the Asianreadathon. So everyone, that's it. That's my TBR for the Asianreadathon. Tell me in the comments down below if you would like to participate. I would love to know your TBR because it could give me ideas for next year, or even not wait next year to read Asian books, but I will love to know. Also, if you just learned about this and you don't really know what to read, last week I made a video, I'm going to put it here, where I recommend books for the Asianreadathon that I've read and that I loved. So be sure to check that, and anyway, we'll see each other next time. Bye everyone!